I advised that President Lungu made a mistake by coming back into active politics because of what I saw that was coming in the future. I didn't see a clear path of how his coming back was going to help him. Now, the court has ruled, and I'm coming back to give an advice to President Lungu. I know there are a lot of people who are going to say he should fight the judgment, but President Lungu, with all sense of responsibility, I know people are going to send this video to you. I remember I was telling your personal cameraman, I told him I wanted to see you and have an audience with you because many times that we want to see you, many people block us from seeing you. So I told him I have a prophecy for you, which I believe that he also delivered. Now, President Lungu, don't fight the judgment. The wisdom of knowing when to stop fighting. The wisdom of knowing when to stop fighting. The wisdom of knowing when to stop fighting. The judiciary has passed a judgment, and that judgment should make the former president understand that this is time for you to stop fighting. For the sake of your family, President Lungu, you have served Zambia as a president. You have built roads for people, the people of Zambia. You've done hospitals. You did your part in the affairs of Zambia. You did your part in the affairs of this nation. You need to be remembered as a man that served the country, not as a man that is continuously fighting for power. The best that can happen now is for President EDGAR LUNGU, former President EDGAR LUNGU, and the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, to join hands of reconciliation. This level of fighting has to come to an end. And now, whether you have been forced to stop fighting or not, you must be able to know when to actually stop fighting. A wise man knows when he has been defeated. A wise man knows when he has been defeated, and a wise man also accepts when he has been defeated. Are you getting what I'm saying? A wise man knows when he's defeated. A wise man knows when to accept that he has been defeated. We need the former president and the current president now to harmonize the situation in the country. That is the only thing that is needed now. All these people that are surrounding the former president, telling him we can fight on, telling him we can go on. No, they are not doing it in the interest of the former president. They are doing it in their own personal interest. 2 weeks ago, I released a prophecy over the former president's wife. And by direction of the judgment of today, you are able to see that prophecy coming to pass in fruition. What the former president EDGAR LUNGU is going to do now is going to determine whether he keeps his immunity or he loses it. And can you afford that? All these people who comment on social media, no, you can continue to fight, you can do what? No. 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 Someone is saying, you are among the people that deceived Lungu and PF. I have never in my life deceived President Lungu. Never. I've never. The prophecies that I've released over time, the problem we have in Zambia is we take a 1 hour video and get a 5-minute clip and you post it. Many are the times when we come out on social media like this, we look like we are foolish. For the sake of self-preservation, this one is a selfish message I'm giving to the president. It has nothing to do with whether the whole entire PF is supporting him to fight. This one is about self-preservation, himself and his family. Whether you love President Lungu to return or not to return, that is none of my business. But for the sake of self-preservation, former President Lungu, you need to think about yourself now, selfishly. Think about yourself. Listen, the judgment has come today. The truth of the matter is that in the next 48 hours, Zambians, no matter how many people are hurt by that judgment, they'll move on. They will move on. And once people begin to move on, they have moved on. So I seriously, with all sense of responsibility, this message, I know that this message is going to get to President Lungu. I know for a fact. This message is going to get to President Lungu. And this message, I also know that it's going to get to His Excellency the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. This message will get to all. In fact, this message is going to go to all politicians in Zambia. This is a time for reconciliation. This is a time for reconciliation. This is not a time to be bitter. This is a time to be better. This is not a time to be bitter. It's a time to be better. This afternoon, we went to the bank. And when we went to the bank, I discovered that it's business as usual in the bank. When I was at the mall, I discovered that it is business as usual at the mall. What does that tell you? It tells you that people easily move on with life. President Lungu was a president in Zambia for 7 years. Carry your trophies, sir. With all due respect, carry your trophies. Carry your pride as a man that ruled the nation. And he doesn't need another term in office to prove that he was a president. It's already in the history of Zambia. Nobody can rub it away from you that you were once a president in Zambia. But if you make a decision to say you are going to fight this particular judgment, the level of humiliation, the level of pressure that it is going to bring over your life is something that you cannot handle. So wisdom is knowing when to stop fighting. Wisdom is knowing when you have been defeated. It's clear for everybody to see the judgment has been passed and that judgment has become a law. It's binding. It's binding. You are my president. You are a man that I love so much. You are a man that I love, and I believe that your contribution to the nation was enough. It was enough. Nobody should put you under any pressure to say, no, it is only President Lungu. Without President Lungu, no, sir. No, sir. Not a single one man can have the monopoly of wisdom. Let these politicians that are supporting President Lungu, let them sit down. Let them sit down and find another candidate. President Lungu, sir, go and rest. Go and rest. Go and rest. Just please, 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 go and rest. We don't want to see you from one court case to another, from one court issue to another. Please go and rest. Go and rest. The Constitution has decided against you by interpretation of the judges. The Constitution has spoken against you. There is nothing you can do about it. Carry your trophies. Move with your shoulders high. This is not something that can actually depress you. Move with your shoulders high, that actually I'm a person that ruled Zambia and God gave me the privilege to be a president in Zambia. Let me tell you the truth. And this is the truth. I have never been in support when President Lungu came back to say he's back in active politics. I'm one of the people that have remained silent, and many people don't understand why I remain silent. I remain silent because you don't fight battles that you cannot win. Wisdom, those of you that are watching me right now, wisdom is knowing which battles you will fight and win, and fight them and win. Me personally, I don't like losing. So if I enter into a battle, I must make sure that I'm going to win that battle. If I am not going to win the battle, it's not worth it. Those of you that are watching this video, it's not worth it. Many of the times we engage into problems because there are people cheering us. No, sir. Because people are clapping for you does not mean you are going to win a fight. Right now, to be honest with you, if President Lungu and the entire camp say that they are going to appeal or they are going to do what, it won't work. It won't work. It won't. Forcing matters will not work. You only had one shot at it. One. And that one shot at it, today, the justice system have pronounced themselves, the court have pronounced themselves. Let's move on. Even as a nation, as a people, those of you that are watching me right now, as a people, as a nation, let's move on. Let's begin to do other things that are productive. Let's begin to find other ways of fixing our country. There are a lot of politicians out there, a lot of politicians. Any of them can come out with ideologies. They can come out with ideas. Let them be on the ballot if that is required. So let honor be restored. Restore your own honor, Mr. President, former President EDGAR Lungu. Restore your own honor. Restore your own honor by simply saying, I accept the verdict, I accept it, and thank you very much for the Zambians, thank you very much for the alliance, thank you very much for people who felt that I can become president again. Thank them, appreciate them, but also don't be a person that if something you want, if something does not go the way you want, you are also willing to push it and push it and push it and push it until it goes your way. No. No, 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 no. We can't continue in that circle. We can't continue in that circle. We can't continue like that. So right now, it's time for peace. It's time for reconciliation. It is time for the nation to move on. The next election is in 2026. Let the politicians that were pushing President Lungu to become their presidential candidate, let them look for another person. Let them look for another person. I'm telling you, listen to me, listen. Me, I'm a prophet of God. There are people who think I don't see in the spirit. Me, I'm a prophet of God. I see things before they happen. I see things before they happen. And one of my prayer today was that the judges are not going to create a situation that puts this country in problems. And that was one of my prayers today. I woke up with a very heavy heart. And despite them pronouncing that President Lungu is not eligible, they managed to safeguard this country until the next election. And that is one thing that they did. To safeguard this country so that there is no election in the next 3 months. They did that perfectly. They did that. So let's move on. Let's move on. Many people who are watching this video, they are actually saying, great advice. Let's move on. Even as a nation, even if you are a cadre for PF, you are a cadre for what, let's move on. Let's just move on. Many of you have never heard me speak after President Lungu said, I'm back into active politics. I've never spoken over the political matters. Whatever that has been happening, I've never spoken. Why? Don't engage into a battle you can't win. Don't. Stanley is saying, man of God, what you're saying is not true because UPND has been pushing the same matter until it favored them. Right. But now, UPND is the one in power. PF is not the one in power. So what President Lungu must ask himself is that, am I going to win? This fight, am I going to win? Because you don't just fight for the sake of fighting. You don't just fight for the sake of fighting. You fight because you actually have a chance to win. Let them choose another candidate. The Zambian people have got voters' cards. Let them choose another candidate. People will still go and vote. It has always been like that. In the whole country of Zambia, truthfully speaking, what will be the benefit for President Lungu to start issues of being arrested? Because if he continues to fight, they too will continue to fight. And that's the truth. If he continues to fight, President Lungu, if you continue to fight, the state too will fight. So, for the sake of self-preservation, I believe in self-preservation. This is the way I live my life. Sometimes I look at things and I say, if I do this and do this. Imagine if right now I do something, there is what we call foolish boldness. I do something right now and I'm arrested and my wife is in the US, my son is here and I'm arrested. Who's going to take care of my son? So sometimes you don't concede because you are not powerful. You understand? We don't concede because we are not powerful. Sometimes we concede for self-preservation. He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. So it's not a time to say, no, we are still going to push this matter. We are still going to, there are a lot of people in PF. There is Bran Mundubile. There is, I think that's the only person I know in PF nowadays. There is Bran, who else is in PF? Binwe Mpundu, very brilliant guy. Is Binwe Mpundu PF? He's independent, Nkana. Binwe Mpundu is a very brilliant guy. Who is in PF? Mutota Kafwaya is in PF, right? There's Bran Mundubile. There's a lot of people in PF. Choose another candidate. Just choose another candidate. Leave the old man to rest. Balungu na papata. Go and rest. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. They say power is sweet, but it's not worth it. I'm telling you the truth. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Doubt is saying, if this fear was like that in 1991, democracy would have not prevailed. Listen to me, Doubt. Doubt. EDGAR LUNGU has been defeated today. Accepting defeat is also a sign of strength. People don't understand. You don't just show strength by refusing. You should actually accept. When you accept defeat, it is also strength. David in the Bible says, I will not go to war that does not benefit me anything. I will not go to war that does not what? Benefit me anything. What would be the benefit of EDGAR LUNGU peddling this matter? So in simple terms, man of God, you mean that since UPND is in power, so any battle they need to win? That's not what I'm saying. I'm advising one individual. Let us not generalize everything. The advice is for President Lungu to accept defeat. That is it. Because him not accepting defeat is him putting himself in more and more and more problems. You see, Zambia is already independent. President Lungu is not a freedom fighter. He does not need to die for people in Zambia to be satisfied that President Lungu actually loves Zambia. No, he doesn't need to. We had so many presidents before President Lungu. I'm telling you the truth. If President Lungu continues to push this matter, you will come and cut one finger from me. The truth is, President Lungu eventually will end up in prison. And how will that benefit the nation? How will it benefit himself? How will it benefit his legacy? How does that work? You need to look at all those dynamics. So for the sake of self-preservation, he already ruled. He was a president. There's no need for him to continue fighting. He can actually be a person that is advising other candidates. Are you getting what I'm saying? It's President Lungu's choice now, whether he wants to go to prison or he doesn't want to go to prison. Because I want you to know something. There is no court case that former President Lungu will take to court that he will win. I want you to put it on record, and I want you to know it, and I want you to understand it, and I want you to believe it. If you don't believe it, the truth is there is no court case, and including the issue of his family court cases, his friends' court cases, everybody else. The same way Honorable Sambo has been taken to prison. That is how a lot of people, I said this. I remember it should be a month ago. I said it. I said a lot of people are going to prison. So it's President Lungu's choice now to either go into self-preservation or continue fighting for the nation that is not actually fighting for him. This is what the problem is. How do you fight for people who are not fighting for you? Because I'm telling you, tomorrow by this time, Zambians would have forgotten about the eligibility case and they will move on. Because truthfully speaking, politics is not the only thing that happens. There's life outside politics. People go to work, people go to church, people go to their farms, so there's life outside that. There's life outside that. So people that want to kill President Lungu before his time are those people who are telling him, let's continue fighting. Let's continue fighting. Let's continue fighting. Let's continue fighting. I'm giving you advice based on what I know to be true. People that truly love President Lungu, Abene Tasila, the wife, and anyone that loves President Lungu must tell him that, sir, I think tools down. Let's put the tools down. He was represented in court by one of the most celebrated lawyer in the country, Makebizuru. And he has lost the case. He has lost the case. So, what else? Move on. Move on. Kukotinga mwaya, nga waruso mulandu. Accept and move on.